my friends, welcome to another episode of the Nuclear Heatwave Wrestling Podcast, brought to you by Mafia Sports Report. I, as always, am Dr. Love, and of course, I've got my brother from another mother, and that is Sauce Bronson, baby.
Hey, listen, yesterday was MLK birthday. Apparently, Martin Luther had a dream cast that he wanted us to, well, for this to come together. This is the only thing that happened in that speech was him talking about how he had a dream cast. And he wanted us to do a wrestling podcast. That was the only thing he talked about in the 60s. That was it. Nothing else.
That was absolutely it. I mean, the man was a genius. And
Hey,
also,
guess what? Guess what, Doc?
What's up?
Hey, Lions won a game, baby.
Yeah, baby. Let's go.
I know we're supposed to talk about pro wrestling, and these boys right here, they got themselves a natty as well. So
there we
just
go.
Want to flex real quick while we're on the air.
Oh yeah, I mean, Michigan's been great. Honestly, what's crazy is on Sunday, everyone won. Every single team won from Michigan, and then of course with Michigan's football winning the championship the week before, it's been good. And Bills, obviously, the Mafia Sports Report, they took care of that problem. So now they're going on to hopefully they can take care of another problem, because you know what would be sweet? Let's get the Lions versus the Bills in the Super Bowl. There we go.
Listen, I'm ready. Listen, I am ready for it.
Papa Mafia will be like, let's go have a head-to-head, you know.
Oh, and to the folks at StreamYard, we're moving into 2024. Can we please get dark mode on here? I'm so tired of looking at this white screen.
Thank you.
So StreamYard, if you guys are probably listening to this, give us dark mode, please. Come on, everybody else even Twitter has dark mode. You can't even edit tweets on that app.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. It's so bright. You know, and we already have to deal with lights here to show our pretty faces and everything. So I don't want to keep staring at white screens here as well. Come on.
Oh, I got pretty much every website I go to pretty much has a dark mode except for this one. This is just annoying.
Yeah, I hear you, man. I hear you. But it's all good.
So,
good.
Doc, a few weeks ago, we went to go see a movie.
We did.
What was that movie?
That movie was The Iron Claw by A24, the studio. And, you know, obviously, if you're a wrestling fan, maybe not a new fan. New fans really wouldn't know much about the Von Erich family unless you watched the superb Dark Side of the Ring series, where they did a great episode based off of them. But older fans definitely know of the Von Erich family, and it's surprising that took this long for a biopic movie to come out, but I'm glad it did. The movie was Zac Efron, Jeremy Allen White. It was a good movie, but it's one of those things where, look, this is a movie where this is not a feel-good movie, right? So anybody that kind of going into it, they don't really know much about wrestling. Oh, this looks like it's gonna be like The Invincible or like Miracle. You know, they're like based off of true stories. I'm like, yeah, there's a big difference here. Lots of death, you know.
Hey, Doc. I want to say, if they do a movie like Invincible style, it's got to be a Kurt Angle movie. I'm just saying, it's got to be a Kurt Angle movie.
I like that. Oh yeah, could you imagine letting like A24 or someone like that, like low budget, but where you get gritty, and then it's Kurt Angle the movie? Just imagine a good script writer. And you know what? Get Darren Aronofsky. And we're going to talk about him in a little bit, because that's one of my favorite top 3 movies of all time in The Wrestler. But imagine that. Could you just imagine how awesome that would be for a Kurt Angle movie? I mean, Kurt Angle is Sauce's favorite wrestler of all time. So
he is the GOAT. He is my uncle.
Yep. So, I mean, there's so many different stories that could be adapted for such a great movie series. And me and my brother we were talking about different movies, wrestling families too. You could easily do the Armstrong family. There's so many stories there through all the Smoky Mountain wrestling, and then through the territories. There's just so much, because a lot of people I feel they get stuck on the big stories, which I get. Look, there's a lot of stuff with these big stories. Whether you're talking about the like the screw job, the Montreal screw job, or you're going to talk about just NWO and WCW, the invasion there, the steroid scandal there in the early 90s for WWF. Which, by the way, I am going to do a little kind of like a preview type thing. CBM, who we all love CBM here with extensive knowledge of wrestling, has gotten a hold of some documents of a former writer for WCW, one that we do not like, Vince Russo. But the best part about this is that in this book, there is excerpts from the unmade and will never be made Vince McMahon biopic movie. So, do you ever remember hearing anything about this, Sauce, before this movie?
I heard many different rumors about a Vince McMahon movie.
Yep. So, just as a precursor, we're going to be doing we won't be able to do it today, but we'll definitely have a video, whether it's going to be a live feed like this or it's one we're going to just have it uploaded. But it's going to be excerpts from the unmade movie, and it's some wild shit, like what they thought the script was going to actually be. It's pretty funny. But with that out of the way, going back to the movies, there's so many good stories to talk about, and Kurt Angle. The rise of Kurt Angle, that would be great. Because it would be such a cool story, because like watching the Iron Claw, hearing about this movie about a year ago, and then watching like the film, like the footage of pictures of the actors getting in shape, like jacked. We watched it in the opening scene with Zac Efron. He looked like Lou Ferrigno, like in his prime. We're like,
he was definitely. I'm not saying that the man took steroids, but he definitely did something unnatural to get to where he was. Granted, he always been like a skinny chisel guy, but the way that he looked in there, I was just like, ain't no way this is all natural.
Well, yeah, there's a difference between looking like Randy Orton, before he kind of got, and like Cody Rhodes, but then looking literally like the Hulk character. It's like crazy. But it was one thing to see their dedication. Chavo Guerrero Jr., the movie, was the wrestling choreographer, and he also played the original Sheik in it. There was a fight in it, which I thought that was kind of cool. So in the opening fight scene, he was actually in that scene as the original Sheik. Okay. Yeah, but he talked about how all the guys did the wrestling. These guys did all the moves. They learned the moves. They took the bumps, and it's like, it's crazy to think about that. But these guys did, and they talk about it in interviews. Zac Efron definitely said like he can't believe how hard it is to be a wrestler, especially in that era.
Hey, dog, imagine if he did that training in a 6-sided ring where there's no give.
Oh, God. You had to bring up the 6-sided ring, Sauce? Oh, Lord.
I only bring it up because Gail Kim was talking about it the other day.
Oh, what was she saying about it?
As far as, did she miss it? She, like every other wrestler there, she said she thought it was cool at first, then she realized it didn't have much give. And then when they changed to 4 sides, everybody was like, yeah, I don't want to wrestle on 6 sides no more.
Yeah, I get why TNA did that. I get it. They wanted to be different. And then, yeah, it was, no. Go back to it. Thank you very much. Goodbye. Bye-bye.
I do agree. Somebody in the comment section They said it'd be cool if they just bring it back once a year.
Yeah.
Maybe they could do like an X Division thing pay per view.
Okay, I
Where
like
the
that.
main event itself will be an X Division match.
Yeah, no, that makes sense in some kind of special match event. I like that. That's actually a good idea, especially since TNA is back, baby. TNA Wrestling is back as of Saturday, and I'm happy because to me it was always TNA, not the Impact Wrestling. It was TNA, NWA TNA. Then it was TNA. That was what it was. Their show was called Impact. That was as much, as far as it went. So, but getting back to the Iron Claw, what were your thoughts? After watching this.
Here's how I view the Iron Claw. As I've told people, I say if you're a wrestling fan, you're going to enjoy this movie. If you're not a wrestling fan, you're going to look at this like you're going to nitpick this movie apart because as far as the pacing issues and whatnot and what's going on, like for the most part, some characters you're not going to have an attachment to, and some you will. That's just from a non-wrestler standpoint.
Yeah.
So I just want to get that clear. So to all the fans out there who thinking about taking their girlfriends to go see this,
oh God,
no. But as a wrestling fan, I enjoyed it. CBM make sure to let us know about the many inconsistencies in the movie.
The factual inconsistencies. So yeah. So in the movie itself, and I'm not going to go here and nitpick every single one of them, but there was a lot of inconsistencies with the time. For some odd reason, that they would put up a time, a specific date, a year, something happened, and CBM would just immediately, well, no, that didn't happen. That happened like 3 years later, whatever, 2 years later. So it seemed odd that, they, like, you have the years, like you didn't have to, but to me, it's not that big a deal because in this movie, they even cut out a brother altogether. One of the brothers was cut out. Chris was cut out. So it was like, because of how the story was from the perspective of Kevin.
Yeah.
It's his perspective on everything. So that's how we see him portray it. But yeah, it was don't take a girlfriend. Can you imagine like a first date, how that would go? Oh God. Be like, okay, honey. And then they're like, she's bawling her eyes out like the whole time. It's like, God.
I remember this one chick. First date we went on, we went to go see Zach and Riri make a porno.
Oh gosh, yes. At the end, like when they're now together and they're making love. And it's like, so it's like,
on paper, it should have been a terrible idea, but if you have two people that enjoy humor and movies, then it's a no-brainer.
Yeah.
But as far as back to the movie goes, and I will say I did enjoy the portrayal of Ric Flair. I know a lot of people nitpicked it to death. Listen, sometimes you're not going to find some of these people, you're not going to find the people that look exactly like them and they can act at the same time.
Yeah, I remember because that's the problem with. I'm a man of that does not like spoilers. Now, obviously, this movie is not one of those like I don't know what's going to happen, but when everyone just wouldn't shut up about Ric Flair's this, I'm like, what is going on? How bad could this be? But you know what? I'm glad I didn't fall into that hype because it wasn't bad. He was fine. Now, who was great was the guy who played Harley Race. That guy was great. Like, he was, like, literally watching him, I thought it was Harley Race.
Even down to like his cadence.
Yep.
Like, as far as him standing in the ring and stuff. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. He was good. So, just stuff like that, And I will tell you a funny story. This is absolutely true. We were hanging out with some of our friends at a local bar, and we were talking about the movie, and one of our friends posted a picture where he said, "Hey, did you hear about Ric Flair and how he people don't like him, blah blah blah." Well, picture saying, "Yeah, this is supposed to look like," and he pulls it up, and it's It's Will Ferrell from
Eastbound and Down.
Eastbound and Down, and I'm like, that's from Eastbound and Down. That's not from this movie. Like, it was just so funny. Like, what do you mean?
Look at, go ahead, let the boy watch.
I was like, I guarantee you this is not in the Iron Claw, okay? And he's like, gotcha, okay. You know, so it was just so. Could you imagine if it was Will Ferrell though? Oh gosh.
Oh man, that movie! I say that would have been top 5 greatest movie.
Wait, you're saying that Holmes and Watson isn't your favorite Will Ferrell movie?
Listen, we don't speak about Holmes and Watson. Okay?
Hey, you spent money on it. You sauce. You spent money on that movie.
I spent $10 on that movie. I mean, I really, even with the cameo from Braun Strowman, didn't really help either.
Oh my gosh! And well, that's actually cool. I like that little segue there. With the Iron Claw, which was really cool, is so MJF obviously was seen before, at the red carpet, and they already kind of had mentioned that a lot of his stuff was cut out. But you actually do get to see him pretty well in the movie.
You see him, like, for those who wonder, you see him for about a good 20, 30 seconds.
Yeah, you see his face, you see his mannerisms. He plays one of the fake Von Erich brothers in the movie. And real kind of like, exposition type scene, but you definitely see him in this. And once you see his face, you're like, there's our Maxwell. There you go.
Because he was like one of the executive producers of the movie.
Oh, yeah. I that surprised me when I seen it. Big gold letters, Maxwell, Jacob, Friedman. I'm like, all right. That's all right. Didn't know that. Like, it's funny because he that's something you would think in AEW, they would like advertise that, like say that. They didn't. That's the first time I've even found out anything about that. So, but Booker of the Year, TK. Don't worry. We can't. We're not going to forget about you. They didn't forget about you.
I will say my favorite scene in the movie, I would just say it's in the third act, and it's a moment where basically Zac Efron definitely shows his acting chops. Now, mind you, I have never seen a Zac Efron movie in my life. I might have seen a movie where he was featured, but I couldn't tell you what that was. Don't remember.
So no High School Musical for you?
No. So apparently I didn't know that. I guess he used to be like a Disney kid.
Yep, he was the lead guy in the High School Musical trilogy.
Okay.
Yep.
I was like, okay, so you got Britney Spears, Justin Timberlake, and Zac Efron. Got it.
Sure. I think there might be a few more, but yeah, you got the gist right there. Yeah, he did a few other movies. The Greatest Showman kind of showed off his acting and singing chops some more. And then comedies like Neighbors, like fantastic. He's great in Neighbors and Neighbors 2. The Baywatch remake, meh. It's a remake of Baywatch. I don't know.
But who I was really. So even though Zac Efron was the main draw as far as the movie goes, who I was really there to watch for?
Who's that?
Was Jeremy Allen White. And of course, like he was awesome as usual. So,
he was fantastic. He really was, because you got to see the hurt in the face and the emotion.
Yeah.
There's a scene where they come back for like Christmas, and that's where you really see it. You feel the pain in the family, because it's all about this tight knit family. The brothers that stick together with the very hard ass, father. And
who else story was like? Who other story was like that too? I don't think a lot of people know unless you watch I think 30 for 30 or the documentary. So Doc, I'm pretty sure you're familiar with the NFL, well, at least some of the star players. What's the name? The story kind of with their father kind of remind me of Deshaun Jackson.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm sure you remember he used to play for the Eagles. He switched to like 17 different teams. But it was kind of like the same thing with his father, was kind of like old school, kind of an old school hard ass. And his father always wanted to produce NFL, basically NFL caliber against athlete. And they said that his older brother was considered a failure because he was decent in college, but he never made it to the pros. So then the next son was which was Deshaun, and yeah, his father basically through rigorous training, like like Papa Von Erich, um, through training and whatnot, and eventually Deshaun Jackson became that. He became that guy that finally became that NFL wide receiver.
Yeah.
So that's kind of like how Papa Von Erich reminds me of is what's the name Deshaun Jackson's dad.
Yeah. No, it's actually good. That's a good analogy for that for sure. And yeah, I'll tell you right now, I'm when it comes out on the Blu-ray and everything, I will be adding it to my collection. So for sure on that. But yeah, I tell any wrestling fan, definitely watch it. If you're not a wrestling fan, I'm not sure why you're listening to us, but that's fine too. We like everyone. But I will say it's it's a good one here. But we do have a chat here. We got MCK in the house. Hey, how you doing? Or McKay. We'll just say either way. Has anyone seen the Iron Claw? It's not being shown in any theater near me.
We've seen it.
We've seen it. We've actually been chatting about it, actually. And
yeah, actually, I think Iron Claw is one of those movies where I think it was only going to be in theaters for a limited time. So,
unfortunately, it came out the week before Christmas. So at this point, about a month in, it's probably going to be gone. So at this point, you're going to have to wait till it's available for like that digital download, and then probably in at least another month or two before it gets released on like physical media.
It'll probably turn out, as a wrestling fan, you hope that eventually turns out, to be like a cult classic. I'm sure that movie's going to definitely make it. Probably did okay in the theaters, but it'll definitely make its money as far as through like I said, through streaming and through as far as through Blu-rays, DVDs, and whatnot. So one thing about wrestling fans, they do collect. So as far as when it comes to like physical media, so they're big on collecting. So, but I would say, McKay, hold on. Yeah, it's so yeah, if you ever seen the Dark Side of the Ring, kind of expect that when you going into this movie. That's the best way we can describe it.
Yeah, it's one of those things where you watch it, and Dark Side is because of the nature of Dark Side the Rings, it's a documentary, so they're going to give you as much facts as possible. This, again, we were mentioning it before, this is really off of Kevin's Von Erich's, like kind of like his view of everything, but it's still very heartbreaking, but in a kind of like a beautiful way. It's hard. That's the best way I can describe it. It really is. So some great acting, some really great acting that most likely will get overlooked when the Oscar season because it's already upon us. But yeah, then yep. So I did see that Dark Side of the Ring with Kevin. Yeah. So you already know what you're getting into. So there you go. But the movie is great. Personally, I give it 4 headlocks out of 5.
That's fair.
For the Iron Claw. Yeah.
I wonder, so with that studio, because I'm just trying to correlating, Dark Side and that studio together. I wonder what other Dark Side Ring episodes could they turn into movies? Maybe Macho Man, Macho Man and Queen Elizabeth. That that could be one.
Yep, that would be an interesting one.
I'm about to look up some Dark Side. Why you do your thing, Doc? Don't mind me.
I like it. Yeah. So, excuse me. So yeah, it's something. Oh, yep. And we got another chat here. Thank you for chatting with us today. We always like talking with everyone, real fans, wrestling fans. Chavo's been getting a lot of praise for the training he put the guys through. Yeah, exactly. He was the fight coordinator, choreographer, and coordinator, I guess you'd say, but he also played the original Sheik in the movie. So there's a scene where he gets to play the original Sheik, and because and so it's a fun little scene. But when I saw the credits, saw his name pop up, and I'm like, hey, that's pretty cool. So, but yeah, definitely. Hey, you're welcome. And also, yeah, if you give us a yeah, well, yeah, you're right back. So, but it looks like Sauce has got some. Oh, I see what you did. Okay, so you got the episodes here.
So I want to see something real quick. Okay, I just wanted as far as kind of make it a little bit bigger or whatnot. So you did mention, a good idea as far as like the Montreal screw job. That could be one, but what'd be cool about that? I think the only way that will work is you got to show this. The movie will be based on the events after the screw job. Figure out how to turn that into a movie. So you start with the screw job itself happening, and then maybe it's just kind of like a comeback story of like how a wrestler like Brett went through all that and how he could build himself back up to be America's favorite wrestler again. I don't know.
Actually, I'm going to piggyback off that. What if the movie was really about the heart of like Bret Hart, in a sense where it's like it flashes back to when he's in the Hart dungeon when he's younger, and it kind of jumps back and forth a little bit, like you see him
like
when he's younger, huh?
Like Man of Steel.
Yep. It kind of and then until you get to the event that happened, you know what I'm saying? Something like that could work because it wouldn't be completely solely needing the screw job finish to be like, but it would be the catalyst there. But yeah, something like that would work. Match made in heaven, another heartbreaker, but I do like it. The other ones are very. The only problem with some of these other ones, Bruiser Brody, oh yeah.
And I wouldn't see a movie. I wouldn't. You know what you could do with a Bruiser Brody movie? You could probably make it kind of like a comedy or whatever, just to do kind of just over the top. But you never, obviously we never, you'll never get to like how his death is.
Yeah.
But you can probably do other stuff with that character. Like I could picture a scene with the one where Sabu talked about how Sabu basically got attacked by the Yakuza.
Yep.
He's getting beat up in the locker room by the Yakuza. All of a sudden, just saw
that
his
right
hand.
That right there is one of those stories that you just hear and you're like, that's the biggest full of crap story ever. And you're like, yeah, I wish it was. But
and then you just saw that he said he saw this big hand come out of nowhere. It was just Bruce Brody just grabbing these members of the Yakuza. He's literally just tossing them around the locker, getting away from Sabu. Oh, but I could picture that, with Bruiser. Well, I would say Bruiser Brody, you could do kind of like an action comedy with that. Or maybe have him as like a sidekick character. I don't know. But I mean, I don't really see nothing much on here on season 1 that you can do.
Yeah.
Like we do season 2.
Hey, check this out. We got Lex Luger was a classmate of my uncle in Orchard Park, New York.
Hey, that's what's up.
That's pretty cool. Us being from Michigan, right, outside of Detroit, Michigan, obviously there's a lot of wrestlers, and one in particular, not with me, but one of my friends I graduated with, her dad graduated with Kevin Nash from Aquinas High School in Southgate, Michigan. So and what's funny is when we hung out a few times, she pulled the yearbook out and showed his goofy face, and apparently her dad did not. They did not get along, but he never said like, "Oh yeah, I beat him up" or anything. He just said this right. He said they were like, "Yeah, whatever, and get along." But yeah, it was funny because he's a tall guy. He was massive then too. He said, yeah, he was one of those guys you looked at and you kind of like, okay, I'm gonna leave you alone. But yeah, so Mr. Nash, we know him for sure around here.
Yeah, he's a pretty big. Kevin Nash is a pretty big deal. And where I live, I'm pretty much, I'm pretty sure I could throw a rock and hit his house he grew up in.
Yeah. Oh man. Oh, here you go. So you have looks like the second season right here.
I wouldn't touch the Benoit one.
Well, no. the problem is too is because of all the people still like to not sound crass about the Von Erich thing is like they passed away. Like Kevin's like the last one there. Obviously, the family afterwards, the children, the grandchildren, stuff. But like of his brothers, so it's not like that he was having issues fighting with them to make having this movie made. But like anybody else with the Benoit thing, it's just
Yeah.
I don't know. No, so
now I would say with the New Jack, or where's it at? The Life and Times of New Jack. That's got to be a blaxploitation film, and it's got to be directed by Spike Lee.
Yep. No. Oh yeah. Absolutely. Oh, and if Wesley Snipes is not in that movie, I won't watch it. Tell me I'm wrong. Like I want.
Hey, I need Wesley Snipes to be D'Lo Brown.
Oh my God! Please, let's go. Come on. Oh, so let's see. We got.
I know a good one, but
let's see.
Go ahead, Doc.
We got another chat here. My uncle said that Larry Lex was not massive in high school. It was after he was trying out for the Bills training camp and started juicing. And yes, that would be accurate because that time frame definitely makes sense. You know, you got to remember WWF at one point was trying to do world powerlifting or world bodybuilding championship. So that and Lex Luger would have been right there at the forefront of that. And what was so interesting about Lex Luger, just because we're talking, this is why we love segues, is you got a guy here who they actually paraded him around with the world title on a pay-per-view, put him in the ring, carried the belt, wore the belt, wasn't champion, all to just get reactions from the fans to see if it even worked. And it didn't. No one wanted him to be champion. It didn't work. Oh my God. So it's just funny. It's funny, like, and then he had to go to WCW. Now, albeit Lex Luger was one of the best NWA United States champion right here. So this guy right here, he was one of the best ever held this belt. Right here, our NWA United States Championship. But as for a world champion, I don't think so. But yeah, goddamn, I love the body. Let's go bodybuilding. Yes,
That man Vince still lives to this day. He only gets 3 hours of sleep, and he's still in that gym. God bless his soul. As long as he stays away from creative, I'm good with whatever he does in life.
Yeah. Yeah, all the belts. Yes, I definitely have a nice little belt collection. There's a few different belts here. I either make my belts, some here. They're kind of all over the place right now, but it was kind of cool you mentioned Luger because it's a nice belt right here. And we'll do another thing sometime where I can actually showcase more of the belts off. But it's a little messy now, so I'm kind of reorganizing everything at this point. But thank you. And so you had the Road Warriors thing I highlighted. Now that's right there. That's something I'd watch that for sure.
Listen, Road Warriors, it's got to be. Listen, this could be somewhat of an action movie. Road Warrior, like kind of like an action movie biopic. I would pay like out of all the ones in season 2, definitely Road Warriors.
Yep. Oh yeah. Road Warriors would be fun.
And then in the Vince McMahon, if they ever make this Vince McMahon movie, they gotta put in the David Schultz slap. Somehow, some way, they gotta put that in the Vince McMahon movie.
Well, let me tell you, I can't wait till we read the excerpts from this when we do it, because I'm telling you, whatever this movie which they were trying to make, it was the most ridiculous thing ever, which makes that incident seem like nothing. So, but and And McKee even says this. For all the negative things Vince brought on, he did elevate wrestling to another level, and that's true. Oh, that's absolutely true. We all sit here and make fun of Mr. McMahon, Vince McMahon, because rightfully so. After a lot of his boneheaded mistakes, his inability to get with the times, basically, the kind of but he definitely did elevate wrestling. The idea of Hulkamania, not just Hulkamania, but that idea blowing up, getting national television syndication. It was crazy. The idea of him putting himself as a character out there for this Attitude Era with Stone Cold Steve Austin, where we grew up with that era. It was great. It was a big era. It was huge. Not my favorite. I like all the wrestling. I do. You can find anything good in everything. Attitude Era was great and entertaining. Did it have a good women's division? Nope.
No.
I do like women's wrestling, if it's good. And, so you can pick and choose certain things that are good in wrestling and what you're sick of. Some people say we're sick of Roman Reigns holding the belt, hijacking the belt, or when Brock Lesnar did it. But what about, if it happened during the Attitude Era, no one would have batted an eye if Austin held the belt for like 9 months or something. You know what I'm saying? It's a little different, but it was so hot. So,
well, I think now because we live in a world now where it's kind of like what they call it, the ADD or ADHD culture, where people just only they like it for the moment, then on to the next one, on to the next one, on to the next one.
Oh yeah.
Because I'm pretty sure there's people out there that's burnt out from MJF seeing him with the belt for that long.
Yeah, and I'll tell you right now, I was one of those kind of people, but I love MJF. But guess what? He is so popular, he doesn't need the belt. Samoa Joe deserved the belt, and I'm glad he's champion. It gives more options for him going forward. A feud with MJF and Adam Cole doesn't need a belt on the line. Hence, and I'm telling you this right now, they're not going to do it. They're not going to do it. But this proposed Rock Roman Reigns match doesn't need a title. If you're going to be head of the table, you don't need a title. The head of the table is the title.
Because all he's going to do is vacate it the next week after he win it.
I know. Someone made a thing saying that, well, look, WrestleMania 20, triple threat match. WrestleMania 30, triple threat match. WrestleMania 40, maybe another triple threat match. So,
yeah,
not unheard of. Not unheard of. So,
now that you mention that, I gotta look up. Let's see. I'm really curious now. I gotta see what was I gotta see if there was a triple threat in WrestleMania 10.
But yeah. So, like I said, Iron Claw, definitely get a chance to watch it, download it, rent it. It'll probably be ready to rent pretty soon. Amazon Prime or whatever else you're able to do it on. I will say though, the movie's great. Not my favorite wrestling movie, but we'll get to that in a minute. I do want to talk about my favorite guilty pleasure. Has to be Ready to Rumble, baby. Has to be Ready to Rumble. I tell this to people. It's I remember watching it in 2000, and someone that watched WCW during that time, the terrible 2000s, by the way. The movie was just so silly. But it also came out around the time like Joe Dirt comes out, and Joe Dirt, it has that same feeling to it. So what kills me is certain people that hate this movie, Ready to Rumble, but they'll think Joe Dirt was great. And I'm like, I don't get it.
Oh, Joe Dirt. Yeah, the first Joe Dirt was great.
Oh, yeah. And the fact that you were even trying to reference the second one, you stop. Bad. I know there's a second bad. Don't talk.
Yeah, I didn't even bother. I'll be honest with you, I didn't even bother.
Yeah. So, but yeah, Ready to Rumble, not much else to talk about it. All I will say is this. Joe Dirt was actually out at the bar I was at the other day, and I said, keep it on. Don't put the Pistons on. No one wants to watch that. Keep Joe Dirt on. Like everyone else said the same thing. Like keep Joe Dirt on. So it was kind of funny. And the one guy didn't know Kid Rock was in the movie. He's like, Kid Rock's in this movie. Like, yeah. Have you not watched this movie? It was very, very weird conversation. But there's not much else to say about Ready to Rumble except for the fact that one, I'm definitely going to be cosplaying Jimmy King soon. For sure, because I will rule you.
Oh, I can't wait for you to see my Royal Rumble cosplay.
Yes, can't wait. I'm so excited.
And Miss McKay, I feel like she stole my thunder as far as my favorite wrestling movie. You know, the movie that Hulk Hogan claimed that he was supposed to get the part for. You know, with the other. The other 20,000 lies that Hulk Hogan tells every month.
Oh, sorry. It's like that. Oh, what? Yeah,
The Wrestler was great. I mean, that's a movie. I just tell anybody, if you like wrestling, just watch that movie.
Yep. Yeah. And just because, like I said, you had talked about The Wrestler, we'll definitely have to just talk about this now. This movie is just one of the best movies I've ever watched. It's Mickey Rourke. I mean, I will say something funny. Now, what Sauce said is absolutely true. But Hulk Hogan, in many of his lies, have said that he was like the inspiration. Cool. That's cool. But guess who actually was in the running to play Randy the Ram Robinson from this movie? Just guess. Just guess an actor, not a wrestler, an actor. And I swear to God, it's crazy.
Was it John Cena?
Nicolas Cage.
Yeah.
Dead serious. Nicolas Cage. Now you think like, what? Nope, I don't see it. Hey, if you watched Ghost Rider, he got kind of jacked for that. So.
Oh. Real quick, let's want to go back to Iron Claw for a second. Yeah. Did you want to tell the viewers, as far as a particular wrestler that you got to pay attention to? If you blink, you might miss their face.
I'm trying to remember what.
Well, the wrestler was a referee.
Oh,
do you? Or should we tell the people, or let the people figure?
Yeah, we can tell them. We can tell them. Yeah. Because they'll miss it and they'll be like, what? I missed it. I didn't
even notice until Doc said something.
Yep. Yeah. It was I'm blanking out right now, so I just because I've taken a little bit of cold medicine, guys, so I'm just saying.
He used to be a part of the Job Squad.
Al Snow. Yep. Thank you. So yeah, it was cool to see it. So Al Snow, who's obviously he's got working with OVW, the former minor league for the WWF and WWE. So yeah, he was in there, and immediately when I saw him, like Al Snow, like I saw him immediately, and it was crazy. Like sometimes you see a face and you know who it is, and so yeah, that was a nice little touch there too. But Nick Cage as the Ram, and it would have been bananas, right? I mean, just so think about Nicolas Cage and the physique he had in like Ghost Rider. I only bring that up because he has a scene in that where he's like, oh, his shirt's off and he's like kind of jacked. So imagine him with like long hair. He's older. It could have worked with this because Darren Aronofsky is I think he's a genius, a director, and Nicolas Cage is a great actor. He just takes every script, and there's your difference. You have to wade through a lot of the bad to get to the good stuff, and his old stuff is all great. So, but yeah, and I'm not gonna lie, when you wrote about Nick Cage, I thought you were saying Nick Gage. I'm like, yeah, isn't he in this movie too? I thought.
I'm still waiting on that Nick Gage versus Ric Flair permanent retirement match.
I hope. I really do. I do have this real here, but I don't want to miss this. Okay, I'm ready to see this cosplay. Oh, so yeah, it'll be fun. So next week, just kind of previewing, we're gonna preview the Royal Rumble show, kind of give you our predictions and everything, and then we'll definitely be I'm having a party for the show, and I'm having and people dress up as different wrestlers. So we'll make sure to get some pictures for it. Get them on.
We'll throw it on the social medias.
Yep. So it's gonna be it'll be a fun time. It'll be a fun time. But we got another chat. Thank you for all the chats. We love we would just be here sitting here BSing about wrestling. So thank you. Yeah, Mickey really needed that part, and it came through in his performance. He definitely did. If you think about it, Mickey Rourke, he had that phenomenal job in Sin City. He was a great job in that movie. But yeah, he had gotten much work, and that really kind of jump started his career. He got the villain in Iron Man 2 after that, the Whiplash character. And I remember, do you remember WrestleMania that year? So WrestleMania that year, he was supposed
WrestleMania 25.
He was supposed to wrestle Chris Jericho. Jericho had this whole story like, you're an actor, I'm a wrestler, which is funny because the sports entertainer thing he did, in AEW, it's almost mirroring that promo almost. And then basically Mickey Rourke's agents came out and they're like, nah, he can't wrestle. But, you can have a promo. And then that's what they did. They did the promo, and then they knocked him out, and that was it. Like whatever.
Yeah, he was representing the old dinosaurs that was fighting Jericho.
Oh my gosh! Remember? Yeah, what Roddy Piper and Snuka.
Hey, shout out to Steamboat. Steamboat still looks good. 15 years ago.
Oh, that's cool right here. Thanks for chatting with me too. I live in the middle of nowhere in Missouri, and it's so cold, so I just hang out. Hey, you know what? We got hit with the cold too here. Again, we're in the southern Michigan. We're about 15 minutes south of Detroit or so. And
and we're about 30 minutes north of that state that they call Ohio.
We don't like that state. So we definitely got hit with the cold and the snow. So yeah. But yeah, definitely, like I said, every Tuesday, 7:30 Eastern Standard, we talk about wrestling. So definitely, hit that button to subscribe, and you'll get us. My brother sometimes jumps on. We got that guy. He comes on here. So poor Ohio. No, poor Ohio. No, not at all. But yeah. But yeah, so you're right about Steamboat, though. You're talking about how in shape he was. Steamboat never, he's a beat. That's why, like, Ric Flair was begging him to have him be his match, because he's like, come on, man. And he's like, no. But now Ric Flair, unfortunately, his last match is against the Young Bucks. Are you serious? I mean, Sting. I said Ric Flair, but I meant Sting. Because, the dinosaurs are all the same, right?
So why?
Why?
Why? Why does he want his match? Okay. That's gonna be a rant for another day. That's gonna be bitching and moaning. I'll say for next week or the week after.
There you go. I'm already subbed to the Bills Mafia podcast, so then you're all set, because you'll get the same things for the upcoming podcast for on Tuesday. So you're good to go. But going back to the wrestler, I keep hopping with the rest, but there was something about that movie, not only with the great cameos in it, they had work, Necro Butcher,
Ernest Cat
Miller, Ron Killings is in this too. Just so much, but again, it was the pain, the heartbreak you could feel on the screen. And the one scene for sure had to have been when he went to that local wrestling like Comic Con. Oh yeah, I have to make sure I got it. And maybe Big Blue beat the Huskies. Yep.
Just
Go
show it
Blue.
off because it's probably gonna be another 30 years before we see a championship.
Right. Yeah, that's right.
Well, at least this time we ain't had to share this one with another school.
Yeah, a lot of people kind of forget that 97 one we had to share it. So not to say,
So dumb. I think that was the same year. I know we getting off topic. I know we getting off a little topic before we go, but I think that was the same. I want to say that was the same year that Barry Sanders won the MVP, but he had to share it with Brett Favre.
What is that about? I didn't remember that.
The MVP is a stupid award. It's basically a quarterback award. But that's for another day. But yeah, 97 was the year of sharing because Michigan couldn't have nothing by itself.
Yeah. But back with the wrestler, it's that scene where they're in the he goes to that like WrestleCon, and I say that very loosely. They're in like just a room at like a VFW or something, and you see all these wrestlers, and you see the one with the colostomy bag and in a wheelchair signing autographs, and it's you see that pain because he wants to wrestle, he wants the spotlight, and it's in there. And you make a good point here, McKee. The wrestler didn't feel like a movie, but a documentary of a real life person. So Randy the Ram obviously is not a real wrestler, but he easily, to me, is like superstar Billy Graham. I would have to say for sure would be the biggest inspiration for that character. There's obviously others as well, but that would be the biggest one, how I look at it. But it was just something about how real it felt. And here's a tidbit too. In the movie, remember when he was playing the game? I think it was like the NES. I think it was the NES game for him. They actually made the game. They actually programmed and made a game, a working game for him to play for it as a prop. I'm like, you should have sold. Those should have been sold, man.
I'm sure it's somewhere on the internet where somebody found it and put it on the internet. If you could play that new Grimace Game Boy game, I'm sure they got that on there somewhere.
Oh yeah, I saw that. Right. Oh my God, it's like, are we gonna have MC Kids 2? Here we go. Let's.
You know what I wonder too, because I'm like, it's linking stuff together. I wonder how much of the movie The Wrestler inspired those guys to create. I wonder if it had any inspiration for Dark Side of the Ring to be created.
It's a good point because I mean, it really does feel like you're watching kind of a documentary done in real life as a movie. So, I mean, people want they want to find out about those stories. But unfortunately, if you take Dark Side of the Ring out, you got the basically what one person said to another person that said to this person. You don't have a lot of the facts. A lot of times, like there's so many rumors. The rumor mill is like 10 times higher than the actual truth, and that's where you get all these stories. Like I could sit here and say two names, and immediately about the rumors. Macho Man, Stephanie McMahon. And boom, see, there's always the massive rumors that will never be confirmed. There's no way if it was true. So, but it's something. It's something because Dark Side of the Ring. Now I can't remember. Have they confirmed season 4 or is it?
Yeah, they this a couple days ago. They confirmed it, and I want to say it's coming out. They claim it's supposed to be debuted in March.
Okay, all right. See, I like that. Now that works. Now, what do you think about this? It wouldn't be obviously probably as in depth or to try to make you look bad, but what if now that WWE's got like this Endeavor deal? What if they thought about doing something similar to some of these more obscure stories, and they would obviously pick stories that were more. not saying lighthearted, but yeah, like
Well, I think they would pick stories they would pick stories that that wouldn't attract bad PR. I'll put it that way.
and McKee already got it right here. Has there been a Mick Foley biopic? That would be great. I mean, that right there writes itself. You talk about the upbringing of Mick Foley, who wrestles Jack Foley first, and then his meteoric rise.
You know who would be great? You know who would play a great Mick Foley?
Who's that?
I'll say Andy Samberg.
Oh yeah, I could see it, especially like the younger one going into yeah.
Because people forget, as far as Mick Foley, the dude has, he's got the heart of gold, but he was also kind of a goofy nerd as well. Starting off. So
that's McKee. That's a good idea. Like for Mick Foley, but I just feel like that would be a cool idea to Again, they have to be lighthearted enough to where they're not going to turn off people from watching it, but people that are intrigued about a story about it, and like that's why I like certain things when it comes to like the Broken Skull sessions, for example. And I know because yes, it's still WWE like on their show, but these guys go in there and say whatever they want. I mean, we've watched them where they've definitely had Chris Jericho on there blatantly and them talking about AEW, like mostly his book and such, but and then just seeing stuff like that it's cool. It's a little unheard of if you think about it, but you wouldn't have seen that five years ago, 10 years ago. We're like, they barely are saying the club. When you have Balor and AJ, now they're like openly like, yeah, we were part of the Bullet Club. Yeah, we're good. So, but I like that she's like, Cactus Jack, my favorite Mick character. And of course, Dude Love. And then Mankind, so nuts. I actually made a Mankind outfit, I think it was 2 years ago for Halloween. And it was good. I gotta get those pictures on the computer.
I wonder if I can pull it up real quick while you're talking.
It was great. Made the mask myself. Made the hardcore title, which I think I have over here. Let's see. Because I have to have a hardcore title, so I made my hardcore belt here, along with for my costume. Very nice. It was a very cool time. So,
give me a sec. I'm sure.
Oh yeah, you're good, Sauce.
One last thing before we get going.
I can see you doing good, Mankind. Yeah, Halloween honestly my favorite holiday. So when it comes, I did a Macho Man where I made the costume, the hat, everything. God, that seems so long ago. 5 years ago, I think I did that. Oh my gosh. So that was fun. So now I definitely have to get these all on the computer now. Now I just got to keep remembering to put them on the upload them on the computer. But yeah, Halloween's always a fun time. That's why I wanted that idea for us all to kind of do it for the Royal Rumble party, which we'll have. I can't wait. We'll have some pictures for it. And we might, depending on how it goes, we might do like a reaction after the show. So we'll see how we feel on that, because we'll definitely have Papa Mafia. He'll be there as well. So
okay, so I found your Macho Man and your Mick Foley. You want to show both or just the Foley?
Yeah, we'll show both. There we go. All right.
Okay. I want to make sure I got it where. Let's see. Present.
Working with the StreamYard,
Which one? So we'll.
So yep. Oh, there it is. So we got Macho Man. Yeah, it was pretty fun. So I decided so I made everything. I had the pants. I had the jacket, the streamers. I made the hat, made the glasses. So what I did was I didn't want to be the red and yellow like Mega Powers colored. I wanted to do something different. I wanted the colors to be something that he's never really worn before. So when I was researching it, I said, he never really did orange and purple. And I had orange and purple paper. So you know what? I kind of went with it. But yeah, it ended up turning out really well. I was at the bar. I was like, ooh, yeah, and everyone. I was talking about the cream to the. I lost the cream rises to the top. My voice even sounds like a Macho Man right now. But yeah, it was a good time. It was a good costume. I did not win best costume that year, though. And my buddy who owns the bar was not happy about it. He was, but.
Dan.
All right, let's see.
Let's see. I got you, bud.
So sweet Macho Man. Thank you very much. And then yes, the Mick Foley, the Mankind one. Oh, that's funny. So the story behind this was a lot of times I'll come up with an idea for a costume, and if I can kind of pull it off, I will go full into it. So I had the wrestling boots. I knew I could make the belt. So I said, let me make the mask. And I started making them out of some material I had, and it turned out great. The only problem, though, and Sauce was there for this. It was the funniest. So, excuse me, 1 second. Excuse me. What was funny was the second I had the mask on was great. Well, when I went to go try to drink some beer, I couldn't because it was too tight. Like the hole was too small from the mouth. So I had to cut it down right then before the party. It was very, but it ended up being great. It ended up being good, really good costume. And I posted it on Instagram and tagged Mick Foley, and he liked it. He liked the picture. So to me, I thought that was great. I thought that was, one of the greatest liked my picture. So, oh yeah, and Sacco. I said, you got to have Sacco. Come on. But, yep, it's going to be a good time. Now I can't wait to see Sauces. I can't wait. So, but, yeah, so, I mean, that's pretty much it here. About wrestling. We could go and talk about so much more, but I'm pretty sure you don't want to hear about No Holds Barred. Ugh. You don't want to hear about biopics like Beyond the Mat, which, again, if you want to talk about, maybe a slight precursor to the idea of a Dark Side of the Ring. But you gotta remember, that was heavily WWF, sanctioned. So they're not going to say anything bad about themselves if they don't want to. And so, yeah. Oh, and you know what? Just one more, just as a honorable mention. A lot of people kind of forget about Nacho Libre. I'm just saying. Nacho Libre.
A movie I have yet to see. I know I need to see it.
What?
Yeah, I know. I'm aware.
Okay. Oh, gosh. Now I'm sounding like Little John. Okay, hold on. Little John. Okay. What? Okay. So, yeah, it's a funny movie. It's based loosely off the true story of a priest that became a luchador wrestler. So, Ignacio, hence why his nickname was Nacho. So, but that is so funny. So that is funny. You have to watch it too. But it's an honorable mention for me, for sure. I have to say. But yeah, McKay, yes, like himself. I thought it was so cool. Yeah, I thought it was so cool, for sure. So, and then No Holds, yeah, it has some fun. It does, but it doesn't. You know what sucks is when McMahon thought, look, goddamn, let's actually have this match happen for real, at the pay-per-view. But let's air the entire movie in its entirety at the pay-per-view, which they did. I don't know if you knew that, Sauce. They aired the entire movie in its entirety, and then they had the pay-per-view. and then this was at the pay-per-view, the Zeus versus Hulk Hogan match. Could you imagine, like, you're there to watch wrestling, and then you were like forced to watch this movie? Oh my gosh. Oh God, no. But anyways. But yeah, so we're gonna kind of wrap it up here. Excuse me. And basically what we do is we do one little part of the show where we call it the Heat of the Week. And the Heat of the Week, basically, it's something that you thought was good. Now we're talking movies. A wrestler, promo, show, anything wrestling related, what we thought was good for that week. So, Sauce, I'm going to hit you with it. What do you got for a Heat of the Week?
Plain and simple. The dude who I used to always ostracize and ridicule for like the last 15 years has now become the Heat of the Week. Hell is frozen over. Pigs are now flying. And I don't mean the ones that drive down the street. That person goes to Mr. Nick Nemeth, a.k.a. Dolph Ziggler.
Yep.
And I'm only saying this because now he doesn't have to be under the WWE tropes. He's got a new lease on his wrestling life. Now let's see if he can be the guy that all these other people tell me that he can be, but I never saw it, even with his 3 short title reigns that he had. But I'm giving him a shot for 2024. Hopefully he proves me wrong, but only time will tell.
Yeah. I like that. The wanted man, as he's now referred to as, Nick Nemeth. And he already went to New Japan. He showed up to try to fight Dave Finlay. And now he showed up at TNA Wrestling. And, it's a new era. Oh, Dana Brooke also showed up too, but no one cared.
Yeah,
whatever. No one cared.
No,
because she literally is doing the same gimmick as Timeless.
It's Tony Storm.
So, that might not work. Whatever. We'll see. To me though, it's a similar, but it's basically the whole company as TNA as a whole. I'm just happy. I did see the show. The fans, they are smart. They are smart to pack it into a smaller arena that's higher, so then the crowd's above you, not dissimilar to Hammerstein Ballroom. Crowd, they're into it. Yeah, they have good wrestling, and they got new belts too. I'm a belt guy, so the belts for most part look pretty good. Oh, and for sure that guy, when we see him next week, he's definitely happy with the outcome of that show because there's a new world champion, and his name is Moose.
Hey, shout out to Moose getting the dub.
Yep. Yeah, he
lost it and cussed out Tony Khan and Gorilla.
He really did. Oh gosh. But we're gonna head out of here. Like I said, thank you for all the chats. McKee, it was great talking with you. And like I said, next Tuesday, we're gonna be previewing Royal Rumble, get all of our picks in. And that's gonna be a good one because this Royal Rumble is gonna be a very interesting one, I think. And then I'll get some more of my pictures put on the computer for some of these other cosplays and everything. But yeah, and again, we do, like I said on the screen there, we do have the X page, the Facebook page, and then of course the Instagram handle. So definitely, put on there if you want to post anything on there. Wrestling related items there too. Always fun, And pretty much that's it. But if y'all got anything else, Sauce, we're gonna take it away.
Listen, 2024 is the year of good wrestling. It's also the year that the Lions win the goddamn game again, baby.
Let's go! Lions, let's
3
go.
o'clock. As Dusty Rhodes would say, ladies and gentlemen, this Sunday, 3 o'clock Eastern Time, we got the Detroit Lions with Jared Goff and Big Daddy Dan Campbell, Jack. is going against those Florida Tampa Bay Buccaneers. That's all. Those no good Buccaneers with Baker Mayfield. The man has been this on more than a redhead stepchild, daddy. And I just want to say, be there this Sunday, 3 o'clock. Thought as those Detroit Lions, and they take care of those Buccaneers. And then, daddy, we are 60 minutes away from seeing the Super Bowl. And I'm not talking about the regular Super Bowl. I'm talking about the big Super Bowl, daddy.
Go right to the pay window.
And on that note, y'all be happy, y'all be healthy, y'all be safe, but more importantly, be good.
Bills, Lions, Super Bowl. Let's go.